What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's video. It's Tuesday, which means that it's time for another live Q&A. I'm here to answer all your questions about eBay dropshipping. I have a lot of questions saved up that people have asked throughout the week, and I'll be watching your comments live on my phone so I can answer them as well. Somebody just popped in, so welcome. I'm going to pull it up on my phone. If anybody's watching in the future, just bear with us, maybe fast forward a couple minutes. Turn this down. Josh is here, Maybelline, All Things Geek. Some of the usuals are here. Welcome, guys. Welcome back. All right, we have 43 people in here. It's great. Where's everyone coming from tonight? Hey, guys. Hey, Dustin. Hey, Kathy. It's good to hear from you again, Kathy. I think I have one of your questions already lined up. Josh, do you still hear double voices, or is the sound better now? Ohio, Michael's from California. Guy's also from New York. People from Connecticut. Guys, how's the sound? We got one person saying that there's an echo. I want to make sure that it's fixed. Hector's from Connecticut. Autumn from Florida. Welcome, everybody. Sound is good, Phil says. Okay, great. I think I just had the phone on, my sound up on my phone for a second, which is probably what caused it. So we're going to give it like another minute. Let some other people come in here. Little Neck, Kathy from Little Neck. That's out near me. Well, it's actually out near where my parents live. Miami, Florida. I was there a couple of weeks ago. Beautiful place. We were sailing around Biscayne Bay. Callum says, UK boys. Courageous Beauties here from Washington, D.C. Welcome, everybody. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Barbara's here. Oh, Josh just admitted that the sound problem was his own fault. He had two windows open. Thrift in the Carolinas is here. I love that name. Such a great name. Obviously from Carolinas, North Carolina. Jeremy here from Connecticut. All right, so we have a lot of questions from the week, so I want to get kind of right into this. The way this format works, anyone who's new, is I'm going to answer all your questions. People have been leaving questions in the comments of my videos, emailing me questions. Really, the best way is just leave a comment in any of my videos if you're watching this, and I'll answer them in the next Q&A. But if you're watching live, you have a question right now, drop it in the live feed, and I'll answer it as they come up. So we had a question. Where are the questions? We had Adam in my private Facebook group. That's just for members of my course. He was saying he had a question because eBay allows you on a listing to put where the location of the item is from, so where it's shipping from. And you used to be able to put something like multiple locations or somewhere in the United States. And that's important for drop shipping because, as you know, we're not shipping it directly from our home. We're shipping it from multiple suppliers throughout the country. And those suppliers have multiple warehouses throughout the country. So you really can't say, oh, I'm going to be shipping this from New York when it might ship from another location. But eBay doesn't like when you put multiple locations anymore. They want you to put an exact location. It doesn't make any sense, but I've been hearing that eBay has been removing listings that say multiple locations or things like that. So what you want to do is just put your home zip code in. You can quickly change all of these. You just go to all your listings and select like the first couple hundred of them, and then you can mass change them and change the location to your own zip code. And that's really the safest thing to do. You might get some customers complaining about that, saying, oh, you said it was going to ship from New York. I live in New York, but you really shipped it from somewhere else. But it's better for that to happen than for eBay to just delete a bunch of your listings. So that's what I suggest you do. Christopher's here, also from New York City. Great to have you, Christopher. I've mentioned in the past videos, I'm going to be having a meetup in New York City soon, the next few months. So Christopher, make sure to stay tuned to the channel so that you don't miss out on that. If you want to come hang out for that live meetup. Jonathan said he just joined the dropshipping course that I have. He wants to know how to get access to the private Facebook group. So Jonathan, in the first module, the last lesson in the first module has a direct link to the Facebook group. And then you just have to request permission and we'll see, oh, this is the same guy who's in the course, and we'll give you access to it. Okay, so we had another question from inside the private Facebook group. Phil was asking, he said he received some positive feedback, but the positive feedback had a negative comment. In other words, the person gave a positive feedback, but the comment says something bad, like, I'm not going to say exactly what it said, but it says something negative. He's asking, what should I do? Well, what I suggest you do is nothing. This has happened to me before. I just kind of ignore it. It's going to get buried under all the all the other positive feedback once you get more, and then people won't see it. All they'll see is that you did receive a positive feedback. So I wouldn't like mess with it. You just kind of got lucky there. Erica's here. Welcome, Erica. Yeah, so Steve Garcia is asking, what should you do in DSM tool for the location? Yeah, just put your own zip code. That should be fine. I also got an email today from Adam. I don't know, he showed me something really cool. Adam, if you're watching, I don't know if you want me sharing that. It was just a really cool way to help you find items. Once you find it on someone else's website, on someone else's eBay store, how to quickly find it on another, to find out what the source is. It was pretty cool. If he lets me, I'll make a video showing you guys what he showed me, because it was really cool. Okay. So another question. Axel left a comment on one of my videos asking about virtual assistants. I'm making a lot of videos about virtual assistants lately because I'm making a virtual assistant course. If you're interested in that, there's a link in the description of my video that's going to give you like a sign up if you're just interested. There's no commitment. Just sign up saying you're interested in the VA course, and once it's available, I'll email you telling you, yeah, it's available. And if I make any other videos about virtual assistants, I'll send it to you as well. But Axel had a very good question. He wants to know if it's safe to hire virtual assistants. What if your VA just uses your eBay account to ship items to his customers or for themselves? So what I would say to you, Axel, is first, you want to know that when you first hire a virtual assistant, you don't have to give them access to your eBay account. I suggest you don't actually. You want to take it slow. You want to first give them tasks that are easy and that don't require much trust. Maybe something like listing or fulfilling orders. And fulfilling orders is another question Axel had, because what about giving them credit card information, things like that? But a lot of credit card information can be saved on the supplier's website. So you never actually have to give them your credit card number. Now, Axel was like, well, what if they ship it to someone else? But really, the question I always has, who are they going to ship it to? I mean, they live in another country. These suppliers don't ship to those other countries. So they're not going to have the ability to send themselves items like that. Axel also asked, what if they ship them to their own customers? Well, in order to have their own customers, that means they have to have their own eBay account. And in order to have your own eBay account, it's really hard for people overseas to get that, because you need like US bank account, like not always, but it'd be hard for them to set up an eBay account and to do it that way. So just know that there are plenty of safeguards you can put into place to protect yourself. I'm going to go over all that in my course. But one of the things is just don't give away your eBay login information right away. Save that for when the VA really, when you really trust them. And even then, you don't have to save your PayPal information in there. So it's not like they can go and buy something and ship it to themselves. Moss said, have you ever had an issue with cashback websites? I couldn't log in for a few days and finally logged in yesterday. It says I lost my cash back. I'm sorry, I've never heard of that happening. It's never happened to me, certainly. I would email them and ask what happened. Oh, which website were you using? The one I use is Giving Assistant. That's my favorite one. It works really well. So it's not something that that's ever happened to me. They have really good customer service over there. Okay. So Yigal said he tried to list his first items. Then he saw that he has a 10 item limit. Can I help him with that? So what you want to do is first just try calling eBay and ask for a listing limit increase. They may or may not give it to you. They'll probably tell you that you have to sell more items and to call back in about a month. So what you want to do in that case is just keep listing items, sell items for really cheap. eBay just wants to see that you can fulfill orders, that you're a successful seller, and that you're not going to sell items and not be able to ship them out. So just sell some cheap items, maybe even items you have around the house that you're just trying to get rid of. Sell them for cheap. Show eBay that you're capable of making sales. And once you do that, after about a month, eBay will increase your limit. And then you can call back every 30 days to get another limit increase. Tomer says, what about just typing USA as a location? No, you can't do that either. eBay wants a specific location. Like I said before, this is something that I've heard from one of my students. I've been putting something like multiple location or USA and haven't had a problem with it, but I don't want anyone's listings to get deleted for that reason. So this is a student that I trust, and I saw what happened to them. And I talked to some other people, and it seems like it might actually be a new policy that they're enforcing. So I would suggest that you don't take the risk. It's not worth it. I would suggest putting an actual zip code in for the location. Sergio says, Depot website does not let you copy tracking numbers, so I'm finding it hard consuming the tracking numbers manually. I'm not sure what you mean by Depot website. Can you explain exactly what your question is? Ivy says, people, you need to hit the like button. I couldn't agree more. Thanks for that shout out. We have 111 people here, so that's awesome. If you all hit the like button, that would help me out a lot. That would get this out to more people and helping out more people. Okay, so I had some other questions from the week that I wanted to get to. The one thing I wanted to mention is that in line with that, we've crossed 3,600 subscribers, still growing really fast. I really appreciate everyone who's subscribing to the channel and supporting me, coming out every week, letting me answer your questions. Really appreciate that. I said this before, so once we hit 4,000 subscribers, I'm going to do another giveaway, give away some more free stuff like a course, maybe some other stuff. So if you're not yet subscribed and you want to be in the running for that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also sign up for the email list, because I also give away stuff to people on my email list. To do that, in the description of my video, there should be a sign up for a customer service script or a free training. Just click on that, put in your email address, and you're on my email list. You're in the running for that competition if when it happens in the future. But yeah, 3,600 subscribers. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Phil says, have you ever had any issues cycling your credit cards? And what he means by that is I pay off my credit cards in full every couple of days because I put so much money on it. Yeah, I do run into some trouble with it sometimes. Like, I've been using this one credit card. The limit I just got increased to $25,000, and it was going fine. You know, I kept using it a lot, but I noticed that the amount I owed was never going up that much. But I still paid it off every few days, and I logged in this morning, and it was at $24,000. So it's just like, I don't know, because there's some sort of delay in the way it's processed or pending charges, and all comes through at once. So I paid it off in full this morning. And then, of course, it takes a couple of days to actually the payment to clear. So that's kind of frustrating. So I'll just use another credit card for now. But yeah, that's the biggest problem I've really had with them. So Sergio says, do you use TrackerBot for uploading tracking numbers? Yes, I do. And I haven't had a problem with them. Sergio says when you stack orders together, combine orders for Home Depot to get free shipping, and there's a problem. But I haven't noticed a problem. It doesn't catch all of them, certainly not, but it catches more than enough. Oh, Sergio says Home Depot website does not let you copy tracking numbers, so I'm finding it very time consuming to upload the tracking numbers manually. Greetings from sunny California. So Sergio, I have two suggestions. One, just get them from the email. Home Depot should email you the tracking number, and you can just copy it off of that email. If you want to copy it from the website, there are Chrome extensions. I don't remember the name of the one that I've used in the past, but something like allow copy, and it will allow you to copy things off of a website that normally you can't copy things off of. So try that, and that might work for you. It might allow you to copy it. Okay, I lost the live feed here. Hold on. Boom. What's up, Paul? Mark's here from No BS Dropshipping. Welcome, Mark. Travis says, is there a way to make a full-time income with less than 1,000 listings? Have you seen anybody do this? So I would say that yes, it is possible. It would require having really good listings, really good items. I do hear about some people who claim to have very few items and making a lot of money doing it. I can't say for sure whether those people actually are, because I don't really know them too personally. They have no reason to lie, but some people might embellish the truth a little bit. So I've heard about it. I can't say for sure if it's true, but you can certainly do really well if you have really good listings and good titles. Yeah. Shop it. Okay. So Jonathan says, how do cashback websites track returns that are done at the store? So Jonathan, as far as I know, it still goes through the store's system. And so the cashback website will deduct the appropriate amount of cash back for that one item. I know it definitely, if you definitely return an item through the mail, it will do that. I haven't really paid attention to if I return it in the store, because that really doesn't happen all that much to me. So if you return it actually in the physical store, then I would imagine it's the same thing, but I haven't really paid attention to it, to be quite frank. No, Mark says he has less than 1,000 listings and is still doing really well on eBay. So again, like I said, you just don't know who you can trust out there. No, I'm kidding. Mark's a great guy. If you're not subscribed to No BS Dropshipping, make sure to check out his channel. He's a lot of great content as well. So Sea Monkeys 321 says, does Walmart offer tax exempt for online sellers? Yes, they do. Yeah, guys, I'm not ignoring your questions. There's just a lot of them coming through. I'm trying to answer as many as I can, as fast as I can. So appreciate your patience. I'm also trying not to answer questions that I've answered in the past before. I'm trying to answer ones that I think are actually going to help people. So you might want to check out some past videos where I've answered a lot of these questions already. Does Amazon offer tax exemption? Yes, they do. That one's pretty easy to get as well. So Mega Video German asked me this week, if Amazon sends the box directly to the customer will see if it's from Amazon. How can you avoid that? So you can't really avoid that, but a lot of people get Amazon boxes in the mail, then they have an Amazon box, and then they just reuse the box and ship it. You see this all the time. So if I bought something off eBay and got it in an Amazon box, that's what I would assume would happen. And then you just rip open the box, you take out your item, you're excited to see it. You don't even look that there is a invoice inside. So it's not something you should really be worried about. And a lot of these, like Amazon, for instance, you can do a gift receipt that it wouldn't even tell them how much you paid for it. So I have like 1 in 1,000 customers complain about the fact that it came from another source. And most of those people, once I explain, I have some scripts that you can use, and you could check out those scripts in the description of my video. Sign up for the newsletter. You get the scripts emailed to you. I use those scripts, send it to them, and then 9 times out of 10, they just drop it. And if they do complain about it, you can almost usually always get the feedback removed. Okay. Sherry says, why don't you use your PayPal debit card to pay for purchases? Sherry, because a PayPal debit card, it limits you to 30 transactions in a day. And when I'm doing hundreds of transactions in a day, it's just not enough. It won't let the orders go through. It also pays 1%, which is great, but I have cards that do 1.5% and 2%. So that's that extra half or full 1%. It adds up really, really quickly. Yes, Dustin. I only list and monitor with DSM tool now. I still have another software, SKUGrid and HydroLister. That was the first one I ever used. I'm not really using it. I'm not using it now, but I have it because I'm always thinking about trying new sources. And so I just kept it around in case I want to try a new source in the future. David wants to know if I've ever done drop shipping with Amazon or just with eBay. I have done Amazon in the past. I did it for a few days last year. The problem was my sales did too well. They just really took off. It was so many orders between that and eBay. I just couldn't keep up with it at the time. It was in November. So it was a really crazy time. That's Q4. So I was like, I got to drop this. I got to just concentrate on eBay for now. And then we're going to be doing Amazon again soon. But we're going to make sure that we go into it knowing exactly what we're doing this time. No, Christopher, returns on drop shipping go directly back to the source. You never have to see the item. So Andre asked me this week, he said, an urgent situation. He sold a $1,000 item on Home Depot, and a week and a half later, after the item was delivered, the buyer is saying that the box was damaged and the item doesn't work. So that's pretty easy to manage. All you have to do, sorry, the screen keeps shaking. I got to take the mouse off the same table. So that's a really easy problem to fix. Since the item was damaged, just contact Home Depot, say, hey, this item arrived damaged. Can you have UPS come pick it up? And UPS will come pick it up from the customer. And then you'll get a refund and you'll refund the buyer. It's a shame that you're going to lose out on that sale, but at least you're not going to lose any money on it. Jonathan wants to know if there's a trick to get around paying for shipping at Walmart. So the only trick that I really know is that you can bundle items. So let's say you have a side table and the side table is like $25. It's not going to qualify for free shipping. But if you sell a bundle of 2 side tables, now it costs $50. Now that bundle of side tables does qualify for free shipping. I guess you could pick it up in store and then ship it out yourself, but I don't know how much shipping would be if you do it that way. I wouldn't recommend you do that because you can't scale that type of business. No, Mr. Kuri wants to know if I only use Home Depot. No, I don't. I also use Amazon and Walmart. Travis asks a great question. Do you ever get nervous about only having an eBay business? And would you ever consider adding other forms of e-commerce? And what would those be? So Travis, that's a great question. I do like the idea of having multiple streams of income. So I am going to be expanding onto Amazon very soon. I want to eventually get into Amazon FBA, hopefully by the end of the year. So that's really the next step for me. I think both of those would be great. And I'm always having my eye on what I can do in the future and where I can go branch out from here. Travis also asks, would you say listing as much as possible is the most important thing in the beginning? Yes, I do. I think it's so overlooked. People get bogged down with, all these different things. They have all these questions, but really at the end of it, you just got to keep listing. List more items, make sure your listings are good. And that's really the most important thing, because without listings, you're not going to get sales. And without sales, you're not going to make any money. Jonathan wants to know if I use a personal credit card as opposed to a business card in the beginning. So in the beginning, all you really have is personal credit cards. So that's really what you have to use. If you actually form a business like an LLC, at that point, you want to keep your business assets separate from your personal assets. So you have to get a business credit card. You really shouldn't be using a personal credit card and then paying it off with business money. It's not a good idea. So get a business credit card that you just use for the business. What do I think about Alibaba and DHgate for drop shipping? So I don't use those for eBay drop shipping because it takes too long for the items to get to the customers. That might be better suited for like Shopify. If I have Amazon tax exemption, can you keep your Prime? Yes, you can. Okay. Kathy had a question. I know Kathy's here, or at least she was here before. I hope she's still here because I'm going to answer her question. She said, I have DSM Tool, and DSM Tool is the lister and repricer that I like to use. I have a link to that. I have an affiliate link to that in the description of my video. So she picked an item on Home Depot. She says it's a Ninja appliance, but when she pastes into DSM Tool, it says it cannot be listed because the word Ninja violates the VERO rules. What do I do? Or am I doing something wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. So VERO is, I forget what it stands for, but it basically says that you can't list that item using the photos and the description because the photos and the description are owned by the manufacturer and they're copyrighted. So the manufacturer says most manufacturers don't care if you use their photos and their sales copy because they just want people to sell their items. So they just give it out. Others are stricter. They want to really control their brand more. I guess Ninja is one of them. So Ninja is saying you can't use our photos and our description without our permission. So the website like Home Depot has their permission, so they're allowed to. Us, we do not have their permission, so we're not allowed to. So DSM Tool has this function built in that says if it's one of these protected items, it won't let you list the item. Because if you do list it, eBay does have the authority, or they're allowed to, remove that whole listing because it violates the VERO. So it's really up to you whether you want to list them anyway. You can go into the settings of your DSM tool and say, I don't care if it violates VERO, I still want to list it. There's a little box that says like VERO protection. It's green if it's activated, it's gray if it's not. So turn it off if you want to take the risk and list the item anyway. Just means that your item might get deleted in the future. And eBay it does say in their policies that they do have the right to ban your account if you keep doing it. So the risk is up to you. I've never heard of anyone actually getting banned for doing it, just their listings get removed. But again, the risk is your risk. So it's whatever you want to do. So Joe says, VERO stands for Verified Rights Owner. Thank you, Joe. Luckman says, what software do you use to keep your profit and expenses organized? So there's a pretty good software out there called GoDaddy Bookkeeping. It's made by the same company that makes GoDaddy, where you can buy domains from. And it's pretty good in that it instantly pulls data from eBay, from PayPal, and from most bank accounts and credit cards that you have linked up to it. So it's going to show you all your expenses and all your income. The problem with it that I'm experiencing is that I just have so much data going through it, so many sales, that it's just an overwhelming amount of information. And it's like hard to reconcile the books at the end of the month. It's because you get a separate line for every single PayPal fee, a separate line for every single sale, a separate line for every single eBay fee. It's just like so much information. So I've just started using QuickBooks. I just manually enter the data. I just manually enter the bulk amount, the full amount of PayPal fees I pay each month, the full amount of eBay fees I pay each month, just the total amounts. It makes it so much easier to like sort through all the data. GoDaddy is great. It works really well, and especially if you have a smaller store. But once I grew it, I just can't manage it anymore. It's just too much data to go through. So that's really where I'm at right now. Letitia wants to know if I've ever used the DSM tool auto order. I've never used it. I don't know. I don't know why. It's really just because I really like their. Well, first of all, most of the sources I sell a lot from Home Depot. The auto order doesn't work for them. And for the Amazon, they have a extension for Chrome, and it's almost like a free auto order system. It's not fully automated, but it makes the order fulfillment go so fast that it's no, it's practically like it's automated. So I'm MCS squared says, can I address the international challenge of returns? So what this person is asking is, if an item ships overseas and needs to be returned, what do you do? Great question, because obviously it's going to cost a lot of money to ship that item back to the United States. Well, if it's a case of buyer's remorse, if the buyer says, I just don't want this item, or I misunderstood what it was, then it's on them to send it back. And usually they won't, because it would just take too much money. If the item is broken, or if it's the wrong item, then you have to somehow get it back. If it's a cheap item, you might just want to refund them. If the item is broken, usually you can get away with telling them that you shipped it out, it was in perfect condition when it shipped out, and that eBay broke it when they forwarded it to the customer. And 100% of the time, eBay has said, oh, yeah, you're right, and just refunded the customer without any fault to me, without taking away my money. So that usually works. Yeah, so C Monkeys 321 makes a great comment. Never commingle personal funds with business funds. That will allow you to pierce the corporate veil. If you don't know what piercing the corporate veil is, I'm actually going to make a video this week about limited liability companies, and I'm going to talk about piercing the corporate veil. So exciting stuff, guys. Stay tuned for that one. Travis says he's been testing optimization and sniping and a hybrid. Sniping seems the quickest. Optimization gives the highest margins. Has this been your experience? That's what Travis said. My experience is pretty similar. Sniping does work very quickly, but the margins are super slim on them. If you do full optimization, the margins can be much higher. I found the best is a hybrid of the two, and that's what I teach in my course. Because with that, you can still find great items to list and still get a pretty decent profit margin on those items. Jonathan says, when an item sells, does DSM automatically relist it? Yes. Okay, guys. So if you're liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. I want to get this out to more people. And what is full optimization? Reese, full optimization is where you just find a random item on your source's website. You don't really think too much about it. You list it and you optimize the title. You don't check the competition on eBay for the item. So let me look at some more of these questions for the week. And like I said, okay, I got a little interrupted there. So yeah, if you guys are liking this content, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And like I said earlier, if you want to be in the running for when we hit 4,000 subscribers, yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Once we hit 4,000, I will be giving some stuff away. Actually, at the end of this, I'm going to talk about one of the things I'm going to give away. Because at the end of the video, I like to kind of like chat with you guys a little bit, and I'll show you some cool stuff that I've been up to. And kind of one of the things I'm going to give away, which has, by the way, has nothing to do with dropshipping. Well, it sort of has to do with dropshipping, but just something that I like that I want to give away to somebody. Okay, let's see some more of these questions. So Little Man asked me this week, he's trying to cut back on time, on wasting time. How important is naming the photos to be uploaded? So I think it's not important at all. I don't do this. So what he's talking about is you can download the image from your source's website and rename the image. So for instance, if it's a hammer, in the old days, people used to download the image and rename the image hammer. So, you know, this would help with things like it's like a keyword you're putting in there. They think it would help you rank better. I never do this. I did it at first, and I just found it took so much time. I stopped doing it. Most drop shippers I know stopped doing it, and it hasn't affected our sales at all. In fact, our sales are doing better because we're able to list more items. This is something I did so long ago. I don't do it anymore. I hope you are doing well. Okay. Okay. See other questions. So I made a video the other day. I realized, guys, that even though I talk a lot on this channel about eBay dropshipping, I had never made a video explaining what eBay dropshipping is. So I finally made a video earlier this week explaining exactly what it is. It's now up on my channel. It's like the first video people see when they first get to my channel. So if you're wondering why I went to like this very basic video, that's why, because I realized I'd never done it before. But one guy commented, Huckleberry Hound, said that it sounds fishy, because I was talking about really how simple the process of dropshipping is. Not that it's easy to do, but that it's simple. It's a very simple process and business structure. So he said it sounds fishy, and I can understand why it sounds fishy. Like why would this work? Why would people come and buy stuff off eBay when they can buy it off of another website like Amazon? And it really comes down to convenience. People, they know they can shop on eBay and find anything that's online. They know how to shop on eBay. They don't want to figure out another website like Home Depot or Walmart. So they come to eBay for the convenience, and that's really what they're paying for. Convenience, laziness, whatever you want to call it, it does work. It does work for that reason. So Martim says, do I use brands on the info of the products, or do I just use keywords? So I use brands when it's a brand that people are going to search for. So if, like right now, I'm recording with this webcam, it's a Logitech webcam. People know that brand, they trust that brand. So I would put Logitech in the description, in the title of this item if I was listing it. If it was some off-brand, like some knockoff brand from China, I would not put the title in there at all. So Warehouse says, how many views should properly optimized listings get per day on average? To be honest, I don't look at views, I look at sales. You can have 1,000 views, but if you don't have any sales, then that means that something is wrong with your listing. If you get only a few views, but a lot of sales, that means you have a good description, but maybe not a great title or photo. But like I said, I don't pay attention to this. I just pay attention to what's actually selling, what the sales data is. Brian says, how often do I take items down from DSM tool, or do I just leave items up forever? If an item doesn't sell for 2 months, I delete it. And you could do that right in DSM tool. Yeah, Autumn West had the same question. So it's 60 days for me. Unless, well, it's on average 60 days. So if it's an item that sold really well, maybe like in the fall, like last spring, and hasn't sold since then, I might still leave it up and see if it does well this spring. Okay, so some other questions I had from this week. David had a question about Home Depot, saying that he bought an item, bought a couple of items, put them all into one order, and the second address line of one of the items added to all the other items. So this does happen sometimes at Home Depot, and the best way to avoid it is to do a guest checkout. And for the first address that you enter when you're checking out, make sure that that address is only one line long. And usually that prevents the problem from happening. Deportes Live MX says, do you stick to one niche or do you use different things? I list anything and everything that's selling well on eBay. I don't have a niche store. On eBay, you don't need a niche store. Most people are not going to actually look at your eBay store. They're going to search for an item and just look at the search results. Few people actually go into someone's store. So I don't have any experience drop shipping with Hay Needle. I've never tried them before. Okay. See whether okay. We have about it's 8:40, so we have another like 15 or 20 minutes to go. So I'd mentioned before that I'm creating this virtual assistant course. So if you guys are at all interested in that, there is a link in the description of my video where you can sign up to be on the mailing list, to be one of the first people to hear about the course when it becomes available, and you'll get emails sent to you anytime I make a video about virtual assistants. There's also a free training video in the description of this video, so you might want to check that out. Okay, another question we have from Wilson. What are your quantities for the listings? So I usually leave it at 2. Is US? I don't know what that question means. When is Flipping Digits says, when is the store giveaway? So when we hit 4,000 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway. So that's, I think it's growing pretty fast. So if we get to 4,000, I'll do a giveaway on the YouTube channel, and I'll do a giveaway to anyone on my email list. Okay, Dave's here. Dave, welcome, Dave. Alex says, do you have to pay taxes on cashback? My CPA says, yes, you do. Some things you read online says, no, you don't. But my CPA says, yes. General consensus is that if you get things like, what's it called, like points that you can use for airfare, most CPAs, from what I understand, will say that's not taxable, but actual cash is. So you might want to leverage that to your advantage, maybe. If you can get a card that gives you 2% points and just use that for travel that you would do anywhere, that might be tax advantageous. But I would talk to a CPA about that. I don't want you guys taking that advice and getting in trouble with the IRS. So talk to a CPA about that one. Drublin1111 says, do you drop ship to other countries? Yes, I use eBay's global shipping program. It's super easy to use. When an international buyer purchases your item, you ship it to eBay's global shipping program, in Erlanger, Kentucky, and then eBay will forward the item to the customer, so you don't have to worry about the forwarding charges, the like taxes and tariffs and all that stuff. That's taken care of by eBay. So it's really great, super easy. Some people don't like to use it because if your profit margins are super thin and you ship an item to an international customer and there's something wrong with it and you can't get it returned and you just have to refund them the full amount, that could like destroy your credit. Your credit. You can destroy your profit margin. It can destroy your profit if your profit margin is super slim. So that's just something you want to keep in mind. Reese Steele says, can I drop ship without tax exemption right now? Yes, you can. You're just not going to be as competitive, or you're not going to make as much in profit. Andre says, do you make all your purchases with gift cards? On Home Depot, yes. I don't buy discounted gift cards. I used to in the past. And the great thing about that is you can get an extra like few percent off doing it that way. But it's just a lot of gift cards to manage. I have 10 Home Depot gift cards that I refill every morning, or I refill half of them every morning, the other half the other morning. And my VAs use those to process the orders. And the benefit of that is that way I don't have to give them the credit card information, but they can still check out as a guest. Yeah, Naughty Yash, I gave up on Bed Bath & Beyond altogether. So I don't use Bed Bath & Beyond anymore at all. Okay. Let's see, some other good questions. Checking the time. Dustin wants to know where I can find other HTML code for templates that work with DSM tool. Actually, I'm not sure. I just use one of the templates they provide for free. Jake says, if I have an existing eBay account, should I start with that or should I create a new one? I would suggest you start with the one you have. You're going to have higher listing limits on that. You're going to have good feedback on it. And that's going to help you scale your store faster. If you do start a new store, call eBay and tell them, hey, I have this old store, but I started this new one. Can you increase my listing limit on the new one? And they should do it for you. All right, Judith is here. Judith says, I am a completely new dropshipper. I just completed 40% of your course. I learned so much. I'm ready to start listing tomorrow. And then about 1 million exclamation points. So I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear when people take this knowledge and actually execute on it, say they're going to start right away. I love to hear that, Judith. Keep up the good work. Naughty Ash says, am I worried that VAs will learn the tricks of the trade and will open an eBay store competing with yours? I'm not worried about that. Like I said, it's hard for these people to set up their own eBay stores. They like working for me. I'm a good boss. I'm paying them a good salary and they're working a lot of hours working for me. So it's a very good, steady job for them. So I'm not worried about that at all. But if they do, good for them, right? I'd be happy to see them go off and start their own business. The first VA I ever hired, he was a great guy. He ended up leaving. Well, he ended up kind of slacking off because he started his own ice cream company in the Philippines. And I was just happy for him after. And I said, you know what? I can't continue to employ you because you're spending so much time at the ice cream shop. Your orders are late, but that's okay. Like, I'm happy for you. Good luck with everything. And everything was great. But yeah, I was happy to see him go off and do his own thing. Was that sea monkeys? That was water, sea monkeys, just water. Okay. Hokage says, where can you buy mass gift cards? You can use websites like raise.com. That's a pretty good website that I've used to buy gift cards. You can also check out a website called Gift Card Granny, and that will show you a whole bunch of websites and what's available on all of them. So guys, we have 145 viewers. That's really awesome. I'm so excited that so many of you guys are checking this out. Please, everyone, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate you doing that to help spread the word about this video. So Flippin' Digits says, when is the LA meetup? I would love to come check out LA. There's a lot of like entrepreneurs out there, really hustling out there. Same thing with New York. So I got to meet up with some people here first. So they'd be pretty mad if I go out there and hang out with you guys before I hang out with people in New York when I live here. Okay. Okay. Sorry, this question is coming in quickly. How can you handle? Okay. So Kong says, what do you do when a customer insists that they never received the item? Just make sure that you have the tracking number uploaded to eBay. Check the tracking number. Make sure that it says it was delivered. If the item says it wasn't delivered, lost in transit, something else, then you're still responsible for it. You would have to contact your source, get them to ship out a new one or refund you and then buy a new one, ship it to the customer. Otherwise, if it says it was delivered, that's it. You're off the hook. And just tell them they have to contact the carrier, like UPS or FedEx. Kristen's watching from London. I think it's really late there, isn't it? The goat James is really making me sad, saying, hit thumbs down, everyone. Ah, that's terrible. So Quissy Pack says, which one of your YouTube can I watch before I start listing today? So in the description of my video, in the description underneath this video is a link to a free training video. Check that out. That should be a good place to get you started. Jonathan says, is there a reason I use 2 cashback websites? So I don't use 2 at once. I like Giving Assistant, and I always forget the name of the other one. It's not coming to me. Well, I think it's Top Cashback. Yeah. So Giving Assistant and Top Cashback are the two that I like. I think I'm just blanking on the second one. I think it's Top Cashback. And I don't use both of them at once, but I use mostly Giving Assistant, but sometimes I use the other one. And the reason for that is because Giving Assistant will only pay you out at most $1,000 a week. So like last week, I received $1,000. I was supposed to receive 1,200, but the extra 200 rolled over to this week. But now this week, I was supposed to receive 1,400 and only received 1,000. So 400 is rolling over to next week. So you can kind of alleviate that problem by using multiple cashback websites and just switching between them. Simply Best coupon. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't remember it. I have used, Jonathan, I have used uPromise as well. They're a great one as well. But I just usually use the one that has the highest cashback for the website I'm looking at. I just like Giving Assistant because they're very consistent with the amount they pay out usually, or the amount that you get back usually, and they have really great customer service. Okay. Doesn't it take a lot of time to optimize titles when you have a lot of items to list? Not really, Tomer. I've gotten pretty good at the process. Doesn't really take me that long. It takes me like a couple minutes per listing. I also have VAs helping. So that's not time that I'm putting into it. It's time they're putting into it. Should I have a bio on my eBay, or would it be fine to leave it blank? I don't think it could hurt to just put something in there, just something kind of nice saying, I don't know, like trying to even remember what mine says. Put something nice like, we try to provide you with the greatest value we can. Thanks for shopping with us. Like I said, I don't think a lot of buyers even go into your store. So a lot of buyers aren't even going to see that as far as I'm concerned. George, I always do good till canceled. I don't do 30-day. Hokage Rock wants to know how much I pay my virtual assistants, my VAs. So I pay my virtual assistants anywhere between $2 and $4.50 an hour. So most of them are getting $2 an hour. So the thing is, when I first started hiring virtual assistants, I was hiring them through Upwork. And Upwork's great, but they take 20% of all the money that you send your virtual assistants. It's not cool. So because of that, we have to pay them more. So those virtual assistants, the minimum I'm paying them is $3. Most of them I'm paying them $3.50. And the one that I've hired to do customer service is being paid $4.50 an hour. She's fantastic. She deserves that. And she actually deserves a full $4.50, not how much Upwork leaves her with at the end of it. But regardless, I started using a new site called onlinejobs.ph. I do have an affiliate link to that in the description of my videos. And Online Jobs is great because you just pay a one-time monthly fee. But it's an ongoing, you pay the same fee every month, but you really only need to pay once and gain access to the platform for 1 month. You go in there, you find the VAs, you find like a whole bunch of virtual assistants. Just copy down all their information so you can always contact them in the future if you need more virtual assistants. It does cost like $69 a month, which does sound like a lot. But if you compare it, because you only have to pay those virtual assistants $2 an hour, you very quickly make up that $69. And it really saves you a lot of money in the long run. So that's why I love Online Jobs over Upwork. And the quality of work is the same. I find great VAs on both websites. So I only hire from Online Jobs now, and it's $2 an hour. So Tim says, do I call eBay to get a case closed that has been over the required response date for the buyer to respond? Yes, absolutely. So if there's a return and the buyer never shipped back the item, yeah, or if the item was delivered, if there's an item not received case and it's showing it was delivered and the buyer hasn't closed out the case or responded, then I will you can either do it directly in eBay, or I have my virtual assistants call eBay to close out those cases. Jonathan wants to know how quickly I fulfill the orders after items are placed. So my orders are placed twice a day. I have 2 VAs that do it in the morning and then 2 VAs that do it at night. And I just tell them they have, a few hours to get them done, and that's it. So within 24 hours, they're all done. So am I worried about eBay becoming too saturated with competing dropshippers? No, I'm not, because a lot of these people are coming in to the dropshipping game not knowing how it works. They're wasting a lot of time. They try to get started. They don't know what they're doing, and then they give up. So that's 90% of the people. The people that succeed come in and they really want to do well. They go out and they get the resources that are necessary for them to succeed, and then they apply those principles and don't give up, and they keep working. Those are the people that I'm worried about, but that's like a very small percentage of the people. Most people are just going to give up. I don't want to see you guys giving up, even though I don't like the competition so much. I'll say, even though the competition is kind of bad for me, I still want you guys to succeed. And the only way you're going to succeed is if you really work hard and execute the smart way. Okay, so we're running out of time here. I probably have time for like one more question, and then we'll kind of wrap things up here. Really appreciate it. We had over 150 people in here, which is really awesome to see. So Jack says, how do I handle purchase limits that Amazon puts on some popular items? So what Jack's talking about is sometimes you'll list an item from Amazon, it sells, great. Then you fulfill the order. Then it might happen like 4 more times, and then on the 6th time, you get a notification from Amazon saying you can't buy this item more than 5 times. You could open up another Amazon account. I just delete that item from my store. It's not worth my trouble. So that's what I do. So I think that's all we have time for the questions. I'll still hang out here and talk to you guys a little bit. Maybe I'll answer a couple more. I wanted to show you guys some of the things I've been up to. I picked up this book over the weekend. It's called Rise of the Youpreneur by Chris Ducker. It's a really cool book. I'm like almost halfway through, and I just started like yesterday. It's about how to like build your personal brand. So I'm reading this to make my YouTube channel better, to better tell myself, help you guys more. So that's really what I'm going for. This is a really great book. Not really helpful for drop shipping, but for me on YouTube, I absolutely love this book. So I have like all these books lined up now. I used to be a huge reader, and I just got out of it. I don't know why. I went to law school, was reading like too many law books, and then I started this business and got super busy, but I'm trying to read more. So I started with this book. I'm loving it. And next on my list is another book that was recommended to me by Broke to Boss Girl, which is another great YouTube channel you guys should check out if you've never seen it. She recommended this book that says, you are a BA. I don't want to like curse on my YouTube channel. You are a BA at making money by Jen Sincero. So this is the book I'm going to read after that, because I want to talk to Becky about the book. She said it was an awesome book. And then I got really lucky because I have a follower on YouTube named Patricia, and she sent me a book that she wrote called Idea to Invention: What You Need to Know to Cash In on Your Inspiration. So, and she signed it for me, which is really awesome. So I got all these bookmarks too. So I'm going to read this one after that. It looks like a whole like workbook in here, which is really, really cool. So next week, I'll tell you guys what I thought of Youpreneur, because I'll be finished by then, and what I'm thinking about the other book. And yeah, I kind of got to do like a little review of them, because I'm trying to read more like business books, entrepreneur books. And I'll let you guys know what I think of them. But if you're interested in any of those, I haven't read Patricia's book or the book that Becky recommended yet. So I can't really give a review of them, but if you want to check them out anyway, there's an affiliate link in the description. I can recommend Youpreneur, even though I'm only halfway through it. It's a really awesome book. So if you're interested in checking out that one, there's also an affiliate link in the description. But I'm curious to hear what kind of like books you guys are reading. doesn't have to be anything about business or eBay or YouTube or entrepreneurship. I'm just trying to get back into reading. So I'm curious what kind of books you guys are reading. So if you want to put a comment in the live chat, I want to see what you guys are reading. Got some. Kathy says, thanks for taking your time to help us. It's been my pleasure, Kathy. I'm glad you stuck around so I could answer your question. So this book, Youpreneur, which I mentioned before, what it talks about is building what's called a personal brand. So personal brand is a brand that's just you. So these are people like Gary Vaynerchuk, if you know him, he's a personal brand. Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income, he is his brand. Then you have things that aren't personal brands like Coca-Cola, even something like Walmart, which even though it's named after the founders, is not a personal brand. You don't think of, what's his name, Sam Wall, whatever his name was. You don't think of him when you think of Walmart. So that's the difference. And so with this YouTube channel, it's not like a business. It's not like a company. It's just me. So this is another example of a personal brand. So that's why I'm trying to learn more about it and how it can, utilize this to better help you guys. So Sherry says, I read How Starbucks Saved My Life, an awesome book. I'm really curious about what that book's about. Travis said, I love that book. The Red Book of Selling, AM says. Alan says, use Audible. I think that's a great idea. Audible is a way to listen to books, like audiobooks. It's a great way to do it because a lot of people are just too busy to actually read. Maybelline says, playing to win, how strategy really works. Not directly related to dropshipping, but important principles to apply. So Guy says, are you ever going to talk about affiliate programs? So Guy, do you mean like the affiliates that I do, or what exactly are you asking? Sam Walton. Thanks, Mescaf. Sam Walton is the guy who invented Walmart. So Lorena Grant says, my husband read most of the Sherlock Holmes collection by Doyle. He loves them. That's a great, I'm sure that's a great series to get into because I'm sure there's so many. I've seen the TV shows and the movies. I think they're great. I'm sure it's a lot different than the books, but really great character there. The Richest Man in Babylon. I read that one. Really, that's another essential book for like entrepreneurs. Autumn Weston, would your personal brand help with branding on Amazon? No, because with Amazon, you really want to build like a business brand. You don't really need a personal brand for that. Personal brand is more for like blogging or YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, things like that. Christopher says, how can I find out about your New York City meetup? I'm in. Glad to hear that. Nothing set in stone yet. Don't even have anything planned out for it yet. So just subscribe to the channel. I'll make a video announcement about it. That'll be called New York City Meetup, so you won't miss it. Sea Monkey says, who moved my cheese? Great book, but it's no fun to dance to. Not sure what that means. I think I've heard of this book, though, and I think I've heard good things about it, if I remember correctly. I'm glad to see a lot of people on here are educating themselves, reading. Always a goal of mine to read more books. I never actually do it, but now I'm actually reading a book, so I'm happy about that. Eric says he's read Managing Personal Finances. Michael's read The Compound Effect by Ed Hardy. It's an awesome book. So these are some great suggestions. I'll have to check out a lot of these. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap it up now. Thanks so much for coming out, checking out the live Q&A, letting me answer your questions, hanging out with me, talking to me about books. I really appreciate it. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't want to miss out on any of the live Q&As when I do them, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit the little bell because then you'll get a notification on your phone as soon as I go live so that you don't miss the live Q&A. And like I said, the next Q&A that I do where I hit 4,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away some free stuff. So I'm going to give away a entry to my course, and I'll give away a copy of this book. because I think it's an awesome book. Even though it really doesn't have too much to do with, well, maybe I'll give away a copy of the other book. I don't know. I'm going to read all 3 books, find out which one I think is most relevant to dropshipping, and give away that book. So you have to be subscribed to win one of those. So hope you guys liked the video. Hope you guys got some great value out of this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.